If you're running Google Ads for your HVAC business and the competition in your area feels too strong, then this video is for you. I'm going to share with you some strategies you can apply to generate high quality traffic and get phone calls and improve your chance of standing out against your competitors, even in highly competitive markets. So let's get started. So guys, we're in our Google Ads dashboard, and if you're running Google Ads for your HVAC business and you think it is too competitive in your location, you can still generate clicks and get high quality phone calls or leads from Google Ads. Because there are certain ways of running Google Ads. Even if you have too much competition, you can still beat your competition and you can rank higher than your competition. And you don't have to spend too much to beat your competition. Because most of the accounts I manage it, let's say more than 90 to 95% of the accounts were beating the competition while running Google Ads. And you don't have to be beating too much for your keywords. So let's see one of our example accounts. We're going to go to the insights and reports. And for example, we're going to go to auction insights. This is our ranking against our competition. This is, by the way, for the last 1 year. And you can see the rankings with 3 metrics. Impression share. This is number of impressions you received divided by the estimated number of impressions you were eligible to receive. And top of page rate is your ad was shown among top ads in search results page. Absolute top of page rate is the percentage of your impressions that are shown as the very first ad among the top ads. This is one of the best options. So you can see that, and we can also see that for the last 30 days, for example. We can also see that for the last 90 days. It doesn't matter. Even if you have too much competition in your industry, you can still beat your competition. There are certain ways, and by applying those principles, you can increase your chance of beating your competition. So again, as I told, I've helped local businesses in different industries generate phone calls or leads using Google Ads, and you can see some results from here. And here in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the ways how you can beat your competition if you have too much competition in your target location. So let's get started. The first thing is you should focus on relevancy between keywords and ad copies. By keywords, I mean search terms and the target keywords and your ad copies. So let's say this is our example ad. And if I'm going to scroll down here as the headlines, you need to put your target keywords, and the headlines should be relevant to your target keywords, if not exactly the same. For example, HVAC near me, you cannot put the exactly the same headline here. For example, if you put HVAC near me, it doesn't make sense. But you might have target keyword of, let's say, HVAC services. You can put HVAC services here as the target keyword. With that way, you can increase the relevancy. These are the target keywords, by the way, or you can scroll up and you can see your target keywords from here as well. And another way would be by going to the search terms report and identifying the keywords that are getting impressions and clicks, but make sure that they're relevant to your service and industry. If they're relevant to your service and industry and they can be used by your ideal customers, you can use those terms in the search terms report in your headline, and this can improve your relevancy. If your relevancy is high, there is a high chance that Google can reward you with higher quality score. For example, your ad relevance can increase, which is part of quality score. So the first thing is your target keywords, which are these, or the list of terms in your search terms report, where you can find by going to the campaigns and the insights and report, go to the search terms report and find the keywords which generated impressions and clicks. And those target keywords and terms in the search terms report should be relevant to your headlines and descriptions. If they are relevant, you can increase the relevancy, and with that way Google may reward you and increase your quality score, and it can help you rank higher from some of your competitors whose ads may not be as highly relevant as your ads. A quick reminder, if you want to know how I got 2x more phone calls using 2 key strategies in Google Ads, click the link in the description below and I'll send you the video of how I did that for free. And the next thing is you should improve your landing page relevance as well. So I'm going to show you an example landing page. So this is my example landing page, and that's a very basic example. And with my own clients, I like to create their landing page for free and create my own version of the landing page. And I think they convert better. And there can be hundreds of designing ideas. And this is just one basic example that shows what I'm trying to describe. So they have a simple H1, which is very relevant, and they have description, which can include some unique selling points or more description about the service you offer, and one call to action. And in the HVAC services, once they scroll down, you should also have form submission section. But again, as I told, this is a very basic example. Rather than adding lots of buttons, for example, reviews, chat widgets, or so many buttons which can include social icons, which can lead to other pages, which is not necessary, we can create one version of the landing page for one specific service type, and ideally for different specific service you can create another version of the landing page to make the headlines and, if possible, descriptions relevant to that target keyword. For example, if your target keyword is HVAC services near me or HVAC services in New York, you can say HVAC services in New York here, or are you looking for HVAC services in New York? Or if the target keyword is AC repair in New York, you can ideally create another landing page and include that specific term. With that way, you can increase your relevancy and improve your landing page experience overall. Again, as I told, I would put many sections here, for example, trust factors or different designing ideas, so that it's going to be mobile optimized as well to make it easy for mobile phone users to contact the business. And the next thing is you should set a reasonable budget to get enough impressions and clicks. So let's say if you have highly relevant keywords, ad copies, and landing pages, then you should put a reasonable daily budget. For example, in the HVAC industry, the cost per clicks can be high and they can start from, let's say, $10 and they can easily go up to, let's say, $30, $40, but it can depend on your location. And you should put a reasonable daily budget. If your cost per click, let's say on average $25, and you are putting $15, $20 per day budget, you may not even get a single click per day. So you should put a reasonable daily budget by looking at the average CPC in your location. So let's say in your location, the average cost per click is again $15, $20. You can put at least the daily budget amount that can get you, let's say, 3 to 4 clicks. But ideally, I would aim for at least 8 to 10 clicks. But let's say you want to at least get 3 to 4 clicks, and that would give you a budget of $60 to $80. So you should put a reasonable daily budget so that you can get enough impressions and clicks. So let's see an example quickly. So we are in the keyword planner section. You can go to tools and the planning keyword planner and click on discover new keywords. So our target keyword is HVAC services near me. And this is for United States. And the numbers are, let's say, from $9 to $64. And if you're going to change the location to a specific location, the numbers can change. As you can see, the numbers are cheaper now. And let's say for this service, it can range from $5 up to $17. And if you're gonna use exact match keywords, the numbers can be close to at the higher end. So let's say it can be $12, $15. And if you wanna get 3 to 4 clicks, the average daily budget is gonna be around $45 to $60 for this specific keyword. But for different keywords, the numbers can be different, as you can see. But on average, you can assume that the cost per click of the keywords can be, let's say, $15. And $15 should be enough to get you some impressions and clicks. But if they won't be enough, you can always increase that. But at the starting point, $15 should be a good price to give you some number of impressions and clicks. So that's how you can calculate your daily budget. And the next thing is you should adjust your keyword bids carefully when using manual CPC or maximize clicks. So this is for people who are using manual CPC or maximize clicks. And we're going to talk about automated bidding as well. So if you're using manual CPC or maximize clicks, try to put your maximum cost per click bid limits at the reasonable price. Again, you cannot put here for this specific keyword, emergency HVAC near me, you cannot put the maximum cost per click bid limit like $5. $5 might not give you a single impression here for this specific location. You should be really careful. So if you want to put $5, you can put it for a very short amount of time just to test. And if you want to beat your competition, you should put a reasonable price because your keywords and ad copies can be already relevant and you should not be afraid to bid a little bit higher, and Google Ads can give you a reasonable cost per click amount if your campaigns are highly relevant. So here, let's say around $7.50 should be a reasonable price to start getting some impressions and clicks. And if you are not getting those impressions and clicks, you can always increase them by, let's say, 5% or 10% at a time. And if you are getting impressions and clicks, even if you are bidding low, if your ads are highly relevant, you can even beat your competition even with these low cost per click limits. So your goal should be to get as many impressions and as many clicks as possible with the lowest maximum cost per click limit as possible. That's what I do to achieve the cheapest cost per click limits when you have a very high relevancy. And with these limits, as I told, with my accounts, I beat the competition even by bidding at the lower range. So that's when you are using manual CPC or maximize clicks. And the next thing is, if you are using automated bidding, let's say, you should put a reasonable target cost per acquisition, which means on average, let's say your ads bringing you a lead for, let's say, $80 or $150 in the HVAC industry. And you cannot put $40 cost per acquisition because your CPCs are already high. You should put a reasonable cost per acquisition limit so that historically Google Ads can see on average they have converted your leads for, let's say, $120. And if you put your limit close to that number, for Google Ads that wouldn't be that hard to find those kind of users or visitors that can convert close to that range. But if you're gonna put your target cost per acquisition limit to, let's say, $40, $30, Google Ads may not be able to find those kind of users, and the number of clicks you're gonna get can be lower and lower, and you might have a traffic problem. So that's another way. If you want to beat your competition and if you want to get consistent leads from Google Ads, you should put your target cost per acquisition limits reasonable by looking at the historical data. And the next thing is, if you have too much competition, you should also have people looking for other competitor names. So for example, we have put here a highly relevant keyword. Still, if we're gonna target it as broad match, for example, we can get this many ideas, and these keywords can include other competitor names. But if you're gonna use it as phrase match and exact match, phrase match can sometimes bring competitor names, but exact match can bring your highest quality terms, but the traffic might be extremely limited. So regardless of the match types you're using, you can have some brand terms and irrelevant terms, and you can put your target keyword here, and you can go through this keyword planner and find your competitor names. You can find the competitor names with the highest search volume in your target location, and you can add them as negative keywords. The higher the search volume of the competitor term, the more effective it can be because it can eliminate the terms which can appear frequently in the future. Or another way would be by going to the search terms report and finding the actual terms that are appearing in your search terms report. For example, you can add the ones which are getting more impressions or clicks, and you can add those terms so that you won't get those kind of competitor names in your search terms report. And if people are looking for your competitor name, they won't see your ad. Otherwise, Google Ads can show your ads even if they type a competitor term and they can see your ad. And by mistakenly, they can also click on your ad. So you can waste a lot of budgets if you won't add a lot of competitor terms and if you get some clicks from those kind of irrelevant terms. And the next strategy would be just to change your match types. For example, if you're using this one as a broad match, HVAC services near me, which might look like highly relevant, but if it's in a broad match version, it can attract some brand terms. If you're gonna look at that, for example, I think I can easily find some brand terms from here. So for example, this one, ABC heating and cooling near me, or this one, for example, this can be a brand term. And for example, this one, A1 heating and cooling near me. So if it's a broad match, it can include some brand terms. And if you are receiving lots of brand terms from your keywords, you can use a tighter match type instead of the original match type. So if you are using broad match, for example, you can use phrase match, and it can help you to improve your quality. For example, and if you are using phrase match, you can try using exact match and it can improve the quality even more. But the tighter the match types, the less traffic volume you can get. For example, with exact match, for certain keywords, you can get very few impressions and you may not even get clicks with exact match because that's very high quality and there might be too much competition for certain keywords. So that's why you should be careful and try to choose certain keywords that can also provide higher quality users. At the same time, it should not have traffic problem because the higher the quality, you can have more traffic problem, and at the same time, it can cost you higher. So for example, with heating and air conditioning near me, it says 50, but when you're using exact match, you can get very few number of clicks. Maybe you can get just impressions or you can get very few number of clicks. And the cost per click can be at the higher end. So when using match types, that's how you can control the quality of the match types, and you can control the quality of your search terms by changing your match types. But to increase the quality, I would suggest, if possible, to use tighter match types. So ideally that would be phrase and exact or only exact match types. But depending on your situation, you can analyze your performance and choose the best combination for your business and location. And the last thing on our list, you should optimize continuously to monitor performance. So You can analyze your performance and you can apply the principles that I've shown in this video regularly. For example, you should go to the campaign section and analyze your search terms report and find the keywords which are attracting lots of brand terms and add them as negative, and target only the types of keywords that are relevant to the services your business offers, and create tailored ad copies for those specific services that can improve the quality of the campaigns. And overall, your goal should be to increase the relevancy. And if the relevancy of the campaigns is high, the next step is going to be to increase the relevancy of your campaigns to your landing pages. So you can create highly targeted landing pages, and if possible, create landing pages for specific service types to increase the relevancy even more and to increase the conversion rate. So with that way, you can increase the relevancy overall, and it can increase your chance of beating your competition in Google Ads auctions. And as I told you, you don't have to be too high to beat your competition. You can beat your competition even by bidding for the keywords at the lower end. So guys, these are some of the ways how you can beat your competition in your local area for your HVAC business. And again, if you guys want to know how I doubled the number of phone calls using 2 key strategies in Google Ads, you can click the link in the description below and I'll send that video of how I did that for free. Or if you guys want me to generate phone calls or leads for your HVAC business with Google Ads, you can contact me as well by clicking the link in the description below, and we can see whether we can work together. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching this video and see you guys in my other videos.